It's time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode of the Up North Journal podcast is brought to you by PSE Archery,
Scentlock Technologies,
Scent Blocker,
Rambo Bikes,
Hunter's Blend Coffee,
Limwalker Game Calls,
Stanislawski Releases,
Copper John Sights,
Easy Cut Outdoor Products,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Sense Hunting Sense,
X-Stand Tree Stands,
Spot Shooters,
Gut Check Indicators,
and Packermax Cultipackers. And don't forget, you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on goodtalkradio.com. Welcome back to another special edition of episode of the Up North Journal podcast, everybody. I'm host Mike Adams with Dan DeFall, who's busy typing away rapidly here. And we have got none other than Tred Barta on with us again tonight for the special Tred Barta Get Off the Couch Expedition. Tred, how you doing tonight?
Good. I'm doing well, and good afternoon to everybody.
Good afternoon. Yeah, you're 2 hours behind us. I forgot. So it's about 10 minutes to 5 there, right?
Yep.
Or 10 minutes to 6. I'm sorry. About 10 to 6.
Yeah, 10 to 6, blue skies, and a little rain coming in this evening.
Okay.
I'm in Lewiston, Montana.
Lewiston, Montana. That's a long way from North Carolina.
Long way.
That's a long way from Elkhart, Indiana, where we saw you last Tuesday.
It sure is. The expedition has been unbelievable. Rolling hard, trying to push my limits, trying to see really how much gas I got in the truck and also how much gas I have in my personal tank. You know, any time in my history of doing what I consider great things, I've always pushed the limit. So I know that if I get in trouble or if I have to pull something off, I know what the absolute limit is. And in big game fishing, people say, how can you fish in 8 to 12 foot waves with a forecast of going to 25 to 30? Mm-hmm. And the honest answer is because I've done it, because I've been there, because I made myself stay there, because I learned what is survival and what is safe and what is not. And it gives you a tremendous confidence. So I went out of Elkhart early in the morning, went through Chicago. God save the world. The worst road that you've ever seen. Potholes that look like the Grand Canyon. People who are just, they must wake up angry. I don't know what it is. But, you know, I've never had so many people give me the finger in my life. I have on the back of my trailer, paraplegic, patience, please.
Right.
And I've got people coming up behind me because, you know, I can't get to 70 miles an hour in 2 seconds like their Ferrari or whatever they're driving. Right. And they give me the finger going by.
Wow.
I say, anybody home? Anyway, that's Chicago. Thank you. You can have it. So then I moved from, I think, into Minneapolis or Minnesota, this great state of Minnesota. Beautiful, great people. Then South Dakota, and then North Dakota, and then Montana. And right now I'm perfectly positioned south of Sweetgrass, and that's where I plan to cross into Canada and on my way to Alaska.
That is awesome. Well, you know, we had the picture up. I'm going to throw it back up. You were in Chicago. We're coming up to Chicago. You can see the skyline. All I see is traffic and taillights. I mean, what was it like dragging that trailer through Chicago?
It was like what it must be like just to be angry at the world every second. Nobody gives you a break.
Man.
And where they're all going, I don't know. But the traffic is horrendous. And the roads are you know, you hear about how Chicago's broke. And you hear about many of the things their governor stands for, which I don't.
Right.
And like, what are they called? Something cities where everybody goes.
Oh, the sanctuary cities, yeah.
Sanctuary cities and all that.
Yeah.
But in any event, the roads need billions of dollars of work. I don't think the audience really understands. You're talking about roads. Some roads are worse than my dirt roads where I go to elk camp. It's pathetic. Anyway, I was glad to get out of there. But let's talk about the trailer for a second. Let's talk about I'm having a hard time.
Sure.
Those guys did a great job at H&L Enterprises and Harborview. Mm-hmm. Everything works on the trailer. So happy to them. I don't mind giving them a plug because they deserve the whole show to be a plug.
Absolutely.
The hitch that I bought from Elkhart Hitch, the hitch works great, and it's a leveling device. My air brakes work great, and I'm running 50 pounds on the airbags.
Okay.
Now, I want the audience to listen very carefully. I start out in drive, and the trailer hitch on, the trailer tow button engaged. It must take me 5 to 7 minutes to get up to 60 miles an hour.
Wow.
I mean, I've got to be so gentle, or the car, or the RPMs go right to 5,000. So I'm looking for that sweet spot, and it is 58 miles an hour.
Okay.
That's where the RPMs, the speed, and everything. What do you think I'm burning an hour? Take a guess.
I'd hate to venture, but I bet you have a gas tanker driving beside you to fill up as you're driving.
I don't think I'm getting more than 5 miles a gallon.
Wow.
I really don't believe it. And when I get to a quarter, watch out. That last quarter goes, is it all cars in the world that when they're not a quarter, they go empty so quick?
Yeah.
You ever notice that?
Yeah, I think so.
What's going on there? What's going on? Anyway, I almost ran out of fuel twice. The hills I can do about 35 to 40 miles an hour and not really work the car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm running at transmission temperature between 150 to 170.
That's not too bad.
195. No, got to 195 to 200 twice on big hills.
Okay.
I guess what I'm telling everybody is when you think about what I'm doing, now add hand controls,
mm-hmm.
no stomach muscles,
mm-hmm.
and always both hands on the wheel because it is so tiring. It is one of the most tiring things I've ever done. So I immediately sensed that this was going to be a problem. I really did. And that's why I drove 13 hours a day for some 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I made so much time. When I went to bed last night, guys, I barely got in bed. I woke up at 2:30 Montana time. 2:30.
Wow.
I'm a guy who wakes up at 6 a.m. every single morning of my life. And if it's going to be a change, it will be 5. So my hands are blown up. My feet are all blown up and bloated. Tonight I'm going to try to rest. And the next couple of days, it looks like that my tolerance level is 7 to 8 hours.
Okay.
I hate to say it, but that's all I can do.
That's driving time, right?
Without hurting myself for the next day. Yeah.
Okay.
So based on that, they say the normal car traveling at a normal speed would take about 75 to 80 hours to get to Alaska.
Okay.
So I'm figuring me at 100.
Okay. So now you're going to stay there for 2 or 3 days, just kind of rest and recoup, and
I am. Yeah.
Okay.
This town is a great town. Lewiston is an old West town where people say howdy, and everybody's polite, and everybody helps everybody. And it's a true Western town that's in the Judith Mountains, and it's surrounded by some of the most beautiful country in the world, and it's almost unaffected. It's like in a time warp. It's just beautiful.
That's nice.
So I'm very happy with the town. I've often thought I could live here.
Mm-hmm.
My TV is working. You remember the big TV we put in?
Yep.
TV is working, so I get to watch the news, and my hopes are good. It's hard for me to read the Bible every morning because I'm always rushing from behind. So if I drive a little bit less, I can stay in my routine.
Okay. Well, what's one of some of the things that you encountered that you didn't expect? Some of the things like first time you opened the trailer when you got parked. Was everything kind of the way it should be, or was things scattered?
Absolutely perfect. I ran for like 7 or 8 hours. I open up the trailer door. I'm in a good mood. Basically, I'm filled with joy. This trip didn't take 2 months. This trip took a year to set up for.
Right.
I open the door, and it's like a TV show when the guys are going after a microfish in somebody's living room. The place is completely trashed.
Oh, no.
Everything. Oh, my God. It's everywhere. And it must have taken me 2 hours to clean it up. So now I understand. If you're in a trailer and you see something that has any value to you whatsoever, or anything that you might use in the future, you better put it away, because if you see it, it's going to be somewhere else. My shower chair that I keep in the shower, a special chair,
mm-hmm.
so I can wash my privates, of course, ended up in my bedroom.
Oh, no.
How does that happen? It's unbelievable.
That's a long way away.
So
that's 27 feet
I'm
away.
learning that. Yeah. I'm learning that, and it is very different. I'm very proud to say that I now pull into a trailer park. I assess the area that I'm going to. Very important because I screwed up twice already. I couldn't get the door open. This is a classic. I opened up my the side of the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a pop out, I think they call it, and the side of the trailer caught a picnic table on the edge.
Oh no!
And and by the time it got out, the picnic table was upside down and about 6 feet away.
Oh.
I go to a gas station in Minnesota. There's a woman crying on the sidewalk, and she's in tears. And I've heard a lot about these scams. I don't know if you guys know this is going on, but people are scamming everybody in gas stations. She says that her car's out of gas, that it ran out of gas, like just at the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
She was on her way to church. It was a Sunday, so that must have been last week. She can't get any money from her kids, and it's the worst day of her life. So, the whole world is cynical, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We get cynical because so many people are ripping so many people off.
Right.
We get cynical, don't we? We're afraid to help somebody because they might sue us.
Mm-hmm.
We're afraid to get blood all over us when someone's bleeding because they may have AIDS. I mean, the truth is that we've become very guarded, and it's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. I sit down, I put my arm around the woman, and she accepts my hug. I fill up her car with gas, $40. I give her $50 in cash so she can conduct her day. And I've always been like that. I'm not. Please, I hope anyone listening is. I beg you. I'm so far away from bragging. This is not about that at all. It's just who Tred is, and it's quite honestly. I hope how all of your listeners and you guys are.
Right.
I go to leave. I can't find her to say goodbye. She takes something like $49 in her car, so I know it's completely empty.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get scammed. This was the real deal. Here she comes out of the place you get your food and your coffee. And Pepper is already in the truck, and I'm next to the door, ready to make my transition so my truck lift can lift me up. She's running, not walking, not strutting, not skipping, but running at me. And she's getting closer and closer and closer. This woman jumps up in my lap
Oh no!
to give me a hug. Yep. And over I go backwards. Hit my head on the pavement, scrape up my arm, blood everywhere, blood all over my shirt, all over my pants, all over me. She's hysterical. I got to calm her down. Two guys get me up. And at this point, God, I hope she never hears this. I really don't need any more of her help. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm glad I did what I did, but I don't need her in my life at this second. So I want to get out of there as soon as I can. And somebody wants to call the medics, and that's no good. And I don't want to get involved with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a roll of paper towel. I start driving, and I keep ripping off the paper towel, and it's soaked with blood. Paper towel all over the truck with blood. I mean, it looks like the Chainsaw Massacres.
Oh, man.
I finally get to a rest stop, and I get out Pepper's medical bag, my dog, and I clean myself up, and I've got a good scratch on my skull, but it's turning into a baseball. So I got a big knot on my head, and it's bleeding, but it's not, I know it's not serious. On my arm, I got a pretty good gash, kind of like under my wristwatch. So I get a couple staples. I got a staple gun for Pepper. I put 2 staples in there, which hurt like an absolute bitch. It hurt.
Mm-hmm. And
I get that closed, and then I put super glue on the top of it, and that hurt. And I keep driving. But I'm saying to myself, now I'm in a better mood. I clean the car up and put my stuff, put my clothes in my laundry, and, everything's working, and life is good again. And I look up and I said, what is the Lord trying to teach me? What's
Right.
the message, Lord? And talk to me. It just give me a clue. And what I came up with is my right hand that I've had 5 surgeries on, it doesn't hurt anymore. Because the left one hurts so much, that's all I'm thinking about. So that's the message.
Okay.
So if you ever hurt your right hand, hit your left hand with a hammer, your right hand won't hurt.
Oh, sounds like you were put through the ringer that day, man. Oh, I don't mean to laugh, but
No, it's funny as well. If you didn't laugh, there'd be something wrong with you.
Right.
In the meantime, I'm hooking up the trailer. I'm hooking up the waste. I'm hooking up the electric. I'm putting the stuff away. I'm hooking up the truck. I'm unhooking the truck. For a guy who's a T4 Asia A paraplegic, even I am amazed. I truly am giving myself kudos because all of the people that helped to make this so that I could work it, the people at Harborview and the people at the Elkhart Hitch and everybody who worked and so many times stopped and said, look, this isn't right. Tred can't do it. It doesn't work. Change it. Move it.
Right.
My generator's hooked up. I have 2 power cords. I go back to the generator, hit a switch, it starts, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can plug in to 50 amps. So I'm really happy that that's working well.
So everything on the trailer is working just as expected, just the way they designed it for you.
Correct. And the only problem with the trailer is my inability to have spent the time to read the manuals. The heater comes on, it stays on all night.
Right.
That's because it's got to be in auto. I didn't know how to put it in auto. You got to push twice and then look towards the east and say Allah or something, and then the heater goes to auto. So welcome to our digital world, but everything is running really well.
That's good. That's awesome. That's the one thing. Danny and I were down there Tuesday, and they finished everything up, and within a couple days later, you were on the road. I mean, there was really no time for you to sit down and really go through it piece by piece by piece. Now,
I want to talk to people who are listening who do have disabilities. In many ways, what I'm doing is irresponsible, because I drove in on Route 2, for example. I went 2.5 hours. I did not see one person. Mm-hmm. Let me say that again. I'm leaving Miles City, I think it's called,
mm-hmm.
to Lewiston. I believe I'm on Route 2. There's nothing there. The nearest gas station, without that one gas station in the middle, is like 90 miles.
Wow.
It was 118 miles, I think. The full range on my trailer before it hits halfway to empty. Halfway to the last quarter to empty. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The last quarter, half of that, I can get 129 miles.
Okay.
Get 140 miles. So to absolute dry. So this is 100 miles, a little more. And I said to myself, let's see what you got and let's see what the truck has. First 2.5 hours, I saw nobody. Nobody. I saw 5 people total on tractors working the range. There's nothing but black Angus, mule deer, and pronghorn. They're beautiful and gorgeous. The clouds are billowy. The sky is blue. And most of the fields aren't grown up yet, but most of it is field, acreage for cattle. It makes your soul sing how beautiful it is. I get down to the end and I'm sweating bullets that I'm not going to run out of fuel. And that type of feeling isn't good.
No.
If I had run out of fuel, and who knows what happened?
Right.
The other day I'm not paying attention, and I go over backwards on my wheelchair. No big deal. Somebody was there. But my message to everybody is, on a planned trip, you can absolutely do it. If you want to make a trip by yourself, you can do it. But with a buddy, it's a piece of cake. There's absolutely no reason, unequivocally, non-negotiably, that if you are paralyzed and you can drive, that you should not get involved with an RV, taking trips, sleeping over, getting off the couch, and seeing this great country. Mm-hmm. You do not have an excuse, because you can live very cheaply in this trailer. It's the cost of food and the cost of fuel, and that's where you are. But you have to be very careful. I'm willing to take those risks because I am used to risk. Risk does not scare me, which means I'm either very stupid or very brave.
Right.
But the truth is, a lot that I do on this trip, I can't recommend for anybody else to do. But there is so much on this trip that you could do.
Right.
You could have taken the other highway that comes here to Lewiston, and there's a gas station every 30 miles. So people need to get off the couch, and they need to watch me closely, because you can do this, and there are a lot of people who would like to do it with you. And I by the time I get to Alaska, and I'll get to Alaska if I have to crawl there. So but don't worry about if Tred's going to get to Alaska. I may get there in a casket, but I'll get there. But I'm going. And it makes me so sad when I pull over the side of the road and I see monster bales of hay that probably go up like to a one-story building. And the clouds are so pillowy and beautiful, and the sky is so blue. and the grass and the cattle and everything that you see. I've seen 5 or 6 American eagles so far. You see hawks looking for rabbits and mice. It's food. It's like driving in a living postcard. And this country of ours is beautiful. Get off the couch. Get off the couch and see it. That's my point.
Yeah, the pictures that we've been showing that you sent, that you've been posting on your Facebook page, you're right. It's just like a postcard. It is breathtaking. There's nothing like it. It's beautiful.
So, do we want to go to another segment, or we want to keep going with this?
I'll tell you what, it's be a good spot. I'll tell you what, we're going to pitch it to a break real quick. We're going to step outside, we'll pay a few bills, and we'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has reinvented the way you buy bows.
From now on, you can make the most educated decision possible
by basing your bow choice specifically on your shooting needs and goals.
All you need to do is ask yourself, what kind of shooter am I? What do I want to achieve?
PSE will help find the right category for you.
So, what kind of shooter are you?
Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back. Second segment of the show. We're talking with Tred Barta, who is it Lewiston, Montana? Is that right?
Yeah, Lewiston, Montana.
All right.
Lewis. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh, is it Lewis? Yeah, it is Lewiston.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, you've traveled so much here in the last 3 or 4 days. It's probably hard to remember where you have been. You put really a lot of miles on. I mean, how far have you come so far, Tred, mileage-wise?
I don't know.
A lot.
I really don't. You got to draw a line from Beaufort, North Carolina to Elkhart, Indiana, and Elkhart, Indiana to Lewiston, Montana. Maybe somebody will do that for us while we're on the show and
let us know.
Call in and tell us how far it is.
There you go.
I don't think I might be wrong, but I think I'm a quarter of the way.
Okay, fair enough.
And I'd like to talk some serious stuff for a moment.
Absolutely.
And, I don't want to do this because I'm on a trip, a quest, you might want to say, a spirit quest, to really define who Tred Barta is in his later life and more importantly in my heart to help other people. My dad used to say, Tred, 90% of success is showing up on time and ready for the job. Now, I don't think it's 90%, but I think you get my point.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do something, do it. Don't sit around your whole damn life and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. And I'm doing it. And I'm doing it paralyzed from my tits down and with a apparatus that handles my waist. The whole thing is ridiculous. I mean, I should be in a nursing home, and most people do, but not me. Today, I got a call at, I think about 10 o'clock, and I said before that I slept all day and woke up at 2 o'clock, but I'll call it what it is. It was a lie. I lied on radio. I didn't tell the truth. I didn't tell the truth because it hurt so much. But at 9 o'clock this morning, I got a call from a very dear friend of mine, and we went to prep school together. We went to middle school together. We spent some time at Dartmouth together. We skied together. We were on the U.S. Olympic biathlon team together. And over the years, he has been my best friend. Now, all of you have a best friend, don't you? Everybody has a best friend.
Absolutely.
And a best friend means that at 1 o'clock in the morning, you call, you come. It means that 1 o'clock in the morning, if that man needs money and you don't have it, you sell something. It means that you take the bullet for him. That's what it is. And that's what this country was basically built on. The Marines, the Army, the Navy, Air Force, the Coast Guard. That's the type of oorah spirit that I'm talking about. So this is a friend through thick and life for 67 years has been my best friend. He fell about 2 years ago and had a concussion and has been dealing with that loss of memory and things like that with a concussion. He calls me this morning and says, Tred, are you sitting down? I said, yep. I was going to make a joke of it and said, who do we have pregnant now? But I didn't. And it wasn't appropriate, so I didn't say it. He said that he is going to kill himself, take his life, and that the prognosis is accelerated Alzheimer's to the point that he won't know who he is 2 weeks from today. It is based on legitimate fact. He's in a terrible regression He's got a team of doctors. He happens to be a very wealthy individual. He's got the money. He's got the talent. He knows, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is not an emotional guy.
Right.
And he was up and he said, Fred, you son of a gun, don't you shed a tear. You are my last call, and I'm going to push the button and kill myself. Now, I would like to tell everybody he's killing himself legitimately. In the state of Massachusetts, you're allowed to take your life, apparently, with injection and doctors and all kinds of things. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. Did you?
No, I knew a couple of states had talked about it, but I didn't know it was possible.
Well, he tells me it's possible, and I'm not telling you his name, so I can't get anybody in trouble.
Right.
But in any event, we talk, and he tells me that he doesn't want to be in diapers like a vegetable. He doesn't want people to remember him in this terrible state of what advanced Alzheimer's is. And I start to cry a little bit, trying to hold it back, and he tells me to stop. And it's what I'd like to share with the audience. And if anyone out there ever had zero respect for me, just a little bit of respect for me, please listen carefully. And he also told me that I was his best friend. He told me that he was the only person that he could call and have a conversation like this. And he said, Tred, I said to him, do you believe in God? And do you believe you're going to heaven? And what he said to me stuck enough that I want to share it with you as I sit in my trailer looking over beautiful Montana. He said, Tred, you got to remember this, my friend is extremely well-read, very educated. So he said, they studied the Big Bang Theory, and they, using science on the assumption that there's no God whatsoever, the scientific fact came that the entire world had to be created within 4 days. Because outside of this envelope, the scientific soup, if you want to say, mm-hmm. could not be triggered within the chain of life. And he said, Tred, if you look at a tree, an apple tree, and how it has fruit and doesn't have fruit and falls on the ground, the bears eat it, the deer eat it, and then, everything lives upon everything, and just the way life is, the fall seasons, the rejuvenation of life, the wonder of life, the wonder that a wolf will steal a calf to eat, but some calves get by. I think you understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
The evolution, mm-hmm. the movement, the fabric of the world we live in. Mm-hmm. He said to me, there's no way that this can exist without a power that is so great that we cannot understand. And he said, Tred, this is called God. And I said, then we're going to meet again. And that where you're going is a better place. And you go with God on your shoulder, carrying the armor of God, and you're not afraid to die. Pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, it is.
And my friend said, he wears the armor of God, and he is going to go forth knowing that he's been a good person, that he's been a God-fearing person, that he's helped other people, that his conscience is clear, and that he accepts the Lord. Mm-hmm. Now, what I want everyone to get out of this, and I think you all might appreciate why I fibbed a little bit when I was sleeping, but I was supposed, actually talking to him. Mm-hmm. What I want you to get out of this is that you can never get back the time that's gone by you. You only have the time that's in front of you. You can never take back the opportunity. I'll say that again, nice and slow. You can never take back the perishable opportunity to help someone else. You see one crossing the street, an old lady, she's having a hard time. What does it take out of your life to stop and help her? What? What does it take? How could you give that up? And life is about giving, and life is about sharing. The most beautiful drive in the world, the biggest blue marlin in the world, the biggest tuna in the world, a 400-point elk shot with the bow means nothing until you share it with somebody. And I know you guys know that's true.
Absolutely.
What's the first thing you do when you put a buck in the back of your truck? Can't wait to show people, correct?
You drive around town and show it.
Mm-hmm. Not about how great you are.
No, it's about sharing the experience.
So I prayed this morning, and I want to tell everybody, I'm a tough son of a gun. I really am. I'm a tough son of a gun. If you chronicle the stuff that I've done and the risks that I've taken, I'm tough. And this tough guy cried for hours. like a baby, couldn't stop crying. And I take it as my friend would want me to take it. I remember his smile. I remember the great times. I remember for the rest of my life the confirmation that there is a God, there is a Lord. Jesus died for our sins. This is real. And here's a man that lived that life. And I'll end this message because I don't want to. We're going to talk about some really fun things that I'm going to do and happen. But I'd like to end this message on this subject this way. I called my friend back 10 minutes ago, and somebody picked up the phone and said that he had passed. So I was the last call, and it's an honor and a privilege. So after I do the radio interview with you guys, I'm going to get my pickup truck. I'm going to bring Pepper with me. I'm going to ride around town for 5 or 10 minutes and see if there's just somebody I can help. And then I'm going to eat dinner, and I'm going to pray that my friend looks down with a smile for the rest of my life. But I don't mean to be sober. Nobody will pick up the radio to hear this. But I think my message is strong and worth sharing. And I'm glad I did it. Glad you guys gave me the opportunity to do it.
Hey, that's what we're here for. You know, it's whether it's the outdoors, friendships, whatever it is, family members. It's about sharing memories, sharing time together, sharing time in the field together, whether it be hunting, fishing, camping, whatever. No, I appreciate that you did. That's a heavy load to carry right now. And
it is, but his message was about nature, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
His message was, if you don't believe in the Lord, if there's something in if your life is not fulfilled, if you don't feel goodness in your heart, just look out your window.
Yep.
It's amazing what happens every day. Okay, that's it for the somber part of life.
All right, we're going to step outside. We're going to take another break. We come back, we'll continue the conversation with Tred. We'll be right back after this.
Acceleration is part of PSE's DNA. PSE pioneered the speed movement. Now they've developed the vapor category to help you find the most powerful bows on the market to fit you.
High speed equates to intense power and building the momentum you need to be successful. Are you a vapor shooter? Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back, third segment of the show.
Mileage.
Okay, Tred, I think Danny's got an update on the mileage for you.
All right. So
okay.
You left.
How far have I gone?
So far, leaving Beaufort, North Carolina to Elkhart, Indiana, that was 901 miles, or about 14 hours of driving.
Yeah.
And then from
13.8.
There you go. And then from Elkhart, Indiana to Lewiston, Montana is 1,386 miles, or about 21 hours of driving. So you are up to 2,287 in mileage.
Almost 2,300 miles.
Wow.
That's a good poke.
So I figured it's a good poke, and I figured it's about 5,200 miles to where I need to go in Alaska. I may be almost halfway.
Yeah, close to it.
No, I don't.
About a third.
But
you're definitely.
Yeah, I'm a heavy third.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Pretty good, guys. I'm
Very
very scared about doing. I'm very scared to go to Canada, and I'll tell you why. In my TV show, I've crossed the border many, many times, and for some reason, I've never crossed the border like a piece of cake. My friend was driving our TV trailer. He had no guns on him. He had a bullet, a .22 caliber bullet. They ripped the trailer apart. They ripped the truck apart. He had no guns, and they sent him back. Wouldn't let him cross the border. Another friend of mine came across the border, and I'm not using any names, so nobody knows who I'm talking to about or what year or whatever. They stopped him. They checked all the equipment. They did this. They did that. And he had missed one child payment in his divorce. And his wife was a real tough one. His wife was very angry at him and to this day does anything to hurt him, even though it's like 9 years. She filed some complaint that he had missed the child payment. They went into federal something of something, and they sent him back, wouldn't let him in the country. So when I came on this trip, I have two long guns. I have a 20-gauge shotgun, a good one, a Black Eagle 2, And I have a 270 Winchester that I made into a custom gun, custom bolt, action, barrel, trigger, and a beautiful wood stock. I love the gun. I love it. So I got 2 long guns with me. I had 2 pistols with me, a 380 and a 45 Glock Auto. I stopped in Mile City. I don't know if they call it Mile High City or Mile City. Maybe somebody can look that up, but it's before you get here. And a gun dealer there, I think it was called Red Rock Sports. Very nice man, really helping out. I took the 380 and I took the 45 and I mailed it to myself at a gun store called Three Bears Outfitters. And they do this as a service. They advertise it as a service. And FFL to FFL. And I paid a fee and it has to go by air. When I get to Toke, I will get my pistols back, okay?
Okay.
The reason I don't want the pistols on with me is that the paperwork is atrocious for the Canadian government to bring a pistol into Canada.
Okay.
You're not allowed to use it. You're not allowed to touch it. It's got to be locked up. It's got to be this. So why have it is my point.
Mm-hmm.
So now I am searching my side bags, the car. Is there any trace of any pistol anywhere? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm doing the paperwork. It has to be done in triplicate, and it has to be done. You can't sign it before you're there. And oh my God. Anyway, this is the type of thing that I'm doing to get ready to cross the Canadian line. And I actually think it's going to take me 2 days.
Okay.
I'm checking everything I put on. And then the thing that I'm really worried about next is, and I'd love somebody to call in who's done this trip, or anybody with any knowledge that can help. I really am asking for the help. Right now, I figure I can drive 130 miles before I am in the danger zone for fuel.
Okay.
Meaning that it's not on empty, but it's damn close.
Right.
I hold 25 gallons. I believe I have 24 usable because that's how much I put in yesterday. And I'm carrying in my truck 25 gallons in 4 6-gallon containers, approximately 25 gallons. So I think I need double the fuel in the back of the truck. I think I need another 4 gas tanks is what I think I need. Next question, how am I going to get it in?
Interesting, huh? Yeah, that was what I was wondering, is how is that going to happen?
Well, the only stupid thing I could think of after hours of thinking about it is to clear the back of the inside of my truck, take almost all the gas and put it on the back seat, put a tarp out in case there's any leakage, put pepper in the front seat. So at least that way I can get to a can of gas. And if there's nobody to help me, I can at least pour it in a jug or a coffee cup or anything and then pour it in the tank. But besides that, I don't know. I haven't thought about how to do it. Now, I don't want to spend the money because I am on a budget, tough budget. The other thing would be an electric gas tank in the back of my truck.
There you go.
It holds 50 gallons, and, I push a button and I fill the I have a regular thing. That's probably what I should do. But I'm running a 1500 truck, a GM extended cab 1500 with a 5.3 engine. I mean, when does it stop? How much weight I keep hauling? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Got to stop. So that's my dilemma while I sit here.
That's a tough dilemma to try to figure out and make sure you do it the right way. And it's something also that you're able to do. You got. That's why this trip has taken you a year to plan. I mean, it's taking up a lot of your time just thinking things through.
Yeah. But I blew it on the fuel. I must admit to everybody. Mm-hmm. I'm a pilot, and there's no excuse. But I blew it on the fuel. I could not comprehend that my truck could burn 4 to 5 gallons an hour. I couldn't comprehend it. I didn't think you could get that much gas through it.
Right.
But that's what it's fucking up.
Yeah. Right.
I swear to God, you could see my gas gauge go down.
That's incredible.
If you watch it.
Right. Watch it slowly drop.
That's a good old 5.3 engine.
So what I've done is I ordered topo maps for all of Alaska, British Columbia, Yukon, and Alberta and all that. And I see that if I take a route from Sweetgrass up to Edmonton, Calgary area, up there, and then I make a left swing toward Tok, T-O-K, Alaska, that I skirt a lot of the mountains, but I'm not in them.
Okay.
But skirting the mountains is still tough. But at least I'm not taking a route that dives right into them.
Right.
It's longer. It's about 6 hours longer. But I don't care.
As long as you get around them and get through them.
The problem with that route is that there are some legs that are 225 miles from one point to another before fuel. And if you don't get fuel at the 225, it's another 180 till you get the next.
Right.
So will I be refueling? Yes. How am I going to do it?
And you could wind up getting to a point where you have to sit and wait for the station to open to get fuel, depending on what time you roll into town.
Yeah. That's not a bad problem.
At least you know they're going to have fuel.
Fuel. What a bigger problem is out in the middle of nowhere with no one to help you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little concerned. I go out to get fuel. It's 28 degrees. Hey, by the way, in Minnesota yesterday it was 31. This morning here it was 28, and it snowed yesterday.
Man, thank you.
My question is, I open the door to refuel, and I fall out of my wheelchair. I have to manage risk. I have to be smart.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if I'm going to refuel, I might pull in the middle of the road to refuel and stop in the middle of the road. They have places you can't even see as far as the road goes in each direction. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at least by being in the middle of the road, someone is going to stop.
Right. No, I get what you're saying.
But I haven't figured out how to do it. The only other way I thought about doing it was putting all the fuel on the roof with a funnel. But the manufacturer tells me, no. Don't do it. Not good for the trailer. They're not built like that today. Don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what I'm going to do, guys. Even now, I don't know what I'm going to do.
What you talked about an electric tank that would set in the back of back of your truck. Is that something you could get and have installed in a timely manner before you cross into Canada?
I'm going to check here, but from what I can determine, it's going to be about $1,500 to pull that off.
Okay.
And one thing about being on a budget
mm-hmm.
is not to go spend all your money.
Right.
I mean, when do you stop spending? A new trailer, new airbags, new brakes, new this, new that, new blah 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 blah. Give me a break.
Right.
I mean, the bank can't solve everything, even though some people think it can.
Right.
So I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll leave it there. But I hope to make that route, and it's going to be a happy day. I'm going to get to Alaska one way or the other, and I think I'm smart waiting a day or two here and getting my breath. And I have to be smart when I leave, not to drive 13 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Got to drive 6, 7, 8, 9 hours, and then stop. Hunting and fishing, guys, oh, my God. I don't know how many people have been out west. I spent half a life out west. But to watch the game is so beautiful. Red-tailed hawks just hovering, ready to dive on rabbits and stuff. I mean, it's you go by and you scare a rabbit on the road. The rabbit goes hightailing across a field with a bunch of black Angus. Out in the middle of nowhere, here comes a hawk after the rabbit. I mean, it's this type of stuff, you used to see on that insurance program. What was it called?
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha. It's the only place you ever have to see that stuff. By being alone, I end up talking to the dog a lot. And I swear, I'll say, "Wow, Pepper, did you see that?" And he just looks at me like, "No, leave me alone. I'm sleeping." But it is amazing. But I think I can do it. And, I'm talking, I'll admit one thing. I'm talking to a woman on the internet that is the greatest thing that God could ever have created for me, in that she loves to hunt, she loves to fish, she loves the great outdoors. That's all she does. She's fit. She's younger than me, not by a lot, but by some. She has the energy, and she says she likes me a whole bunch. And we talk an hour a day, and we text more than that. So I think that this internet relationship right now is really good for me, because I don't care what you say. Traveling by yourself, being so vulnerable to everything is really hard.
Mm-hmm.
I got in the shower the other day, take a shower. First shower. It's great. Fantastic. Got in the shower. I turned on the shower handle. My wheel on my trailer got caught over the little rubber gate that keeps the water from not going everywhere. I'm struggling to move the shower. The shower is red hot, and I have 4 or 5 blisters on my left arm. I can't move my chair. The handle of the shower is on super hot. It's so hot it's blistering my skin, and I'm in trouble.
Right.
So I grab Pepper's dog dish, which is metal, and I got one shot to throw it like a frisbee and hit the handle, or I'm really in dire trouble. Dire. I whip this thing up, I hit it perfectly, out of trouble. But, most people don't get in trouble when they take a shower.
Right. I
get in trouble when I do everything. So, having someone that you can talk to and having a Bible that you can read, it's amazing how important it is.
Well, it just happens.
And wouldn't it be something if she travels to see me and we did get along and it was the start of a great relationship? Wouldn't that be something?
That'd be awesome.
Would be awesome, yeah.
You'd have somebody with you, but somebody to help you as well.
I thought about at these gas stations, I've tried to befriend, and I'm kind of disappointed in this, to be honest. I've tried to befriend several other RV'ers and told them, could I follow you? Could I check in with you? Where are you going? And out of the 10 that I've asked so far, they all said no.
Really?
Well, when I tell them I'm going 58 miles an hour, they say no. Man, people got some trucks today. I have people with RVs bigger than mine going 85 miles an hour. And do you know that a lot of the speed signs out here are 80 miles an hour? Have you seen that before?
The biggest I've seen is 75.
Yeah, 75.
Yeah, 80.
Wow.
Montana, 80. Couldn't believe it. 80 miles an hour. I mean, that means 10 over. You're driving 90.
Right. That's carrying the mail.
Great place to own a Corvette, eh?
Right.
You got that right.
Yeah.
Well, what's when you get over to Alaska? What are some of the things you've got planned? I mean, what are we looking forward to hearing from you?
Yeah, that's a great question. When I get to Alaska, the first thing I want to do is call you guys and do a special, and I want to yell and scream and dance and go around in circles. I mean, I really don't think that anybody understands how hard this is. Oh, my God. It is tough for me. But my strategy in Alaska is to go all through Alaska during the summer. But my biggest plan is to fish on public land, most Alaska is, by the way, wherein I can find spots that I can put my trailer, get access with my action track chair in the back of my truck, and fly fish, dry flies, no droppers, no streamers, but dry flies on top, light tackle, 2, 3, 4 weight fly rods with a 3.5-pound tippet, and catch fish for dinner. That's the number one priority, all across the state. Then the second priority is to spend time to see the things that a guy like me would never see. I go to do a TV show in Bella Coola, British Columbia. It's where I shot my grizzly. In Bella Coola, British Columbia, I'm just using it as an example. They have one of the largest log industries in the world there. It's one of the greatest places for timber. And I mention it in one line on the TV show. I want to go to where they cut the logs. I want to go where they skin them and log them and dry them and all the things that they do. And I want to do all the things that I don't do in normal life. It's funny. Someone said, well, you want to do all the things when you're old and you're a tourist. I thought about it for a second. And I said, yeah, you're right. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
I want to see the things. I don't know. I want to see the things I haven't seen and go to the lakes I haven't seen and meet the people who run all the stuff and go to the fisheries and go to the place where they raise fish for hatchlings and really see Alaska. And what's amazing to me is that as an outdoorsman, there's all kinds of people. Some people are shy. Some people are a little bit forward. Some people can get by with people, but they really feel uncomfortable. But all the way on the other end of the scale is Tred Barta. I don't know why it is, but put me in a crowd of people and I'm telling a story and everybody's laughing in 5 minutes. It's always been that way. Always. And it seems like if I can just get in front of somebody, I'm okay. So I love the interaction between people. And it's not telling them about me. It's about me hearing about them.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. And that's what I want to do in Alaska. By the way, there are so many places in Alaska on the Alcan and on the way up to the North Pole, as is to say, or on the way to Nome, Alaska, all the way up on the top of where I'm going to go, they still have subsistence hunting. I mean, the entire tribe can take, I think it's 200 caribou. They can harpoon a whale. We've all seen it on TV.
Yeah, I got a friend up there that does that. Yep.
They can shoot moose.
Yep.
So to be in these subsistence type areas, to me, is just the greatest privilege in the world. And I've been keep in mind, guys, I have been all through Alaska twice. I was based in Fort Richardson, Alaska, on the U.S. Olympic biathlon team. So, I know Alaska. I'm not going to Alaska to see it. I'm going to see it in a way that I never saw it before. That's what I'm going to do. And I can't wait to share it with you guys.
That is awesome.
I really can't.
We can't wait to hear it.
It is awesome.
It is awesome. That's one place I would love to go at some point in my life.
One of the bad things is that I really do need help everything I'm doing. So I believe that my subconscious is telling me, Tred, if you can put yourself in a situation where you don't need people to help you with the obvious, and you don't need people to do the things you want to do, then when I come back from Alaska and I'm on your show, or I'm on a TV show, or I have my own TV show, I can say, if I can do it, you can do it, because I did it.
Absolutely.
And there's a big difference between talking BS and really doing it.
Right.
I want to tell you. And I deep down inside, I hope that, I believe that's what this trip is all about.
Well, you're over a third of the way there, my friend.
Yep, I sure am. And you know what? Despite my friend passing, and despite some of the things that are hard, I'm in good spirits. I'm going to sleep well tonight. And I want to tell everybody, you've been married for 30 years. You don't kiss your wife much. The lovemaking isn't what it used to be. Get your wife on the porch and give her a big hug, because you just have no idea what's around the corner. You don't.
No.
And you need to. And every moment is precious. And friends and hunting buddies. I mean, I'm beginning to think that hunting and fishing isn't even about hunting and fishing. Does that make any sense to you?
Absolutely. It's about relationships.
I think hunting and fishing is about everything that happens before and after the hunting and fishing.
Yeah.
And just the doing of hunting and fishing. So that's the type of perspective, kind of melancholy, I have today. And I hope that the people listening see the pros and the cons. Let me tell you something. I'm just as vulnerable as any person listening, and I make mistakes every single day. But I give you a little mistake. I wasn't going to admit these things because it really makes me look like a real blank. I'm doing 65 miles an hour on I-94 westbound. I can't understand why the truck is pulling a little bit to the left. Can't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't understand why the last two people who passed me, they didn't give me the finger. They gave me the whole fist. I have the complete slide out of the truck, out of the camper. I didn't put it in.
Oh, no.
I've got half the other lane closed out.
Oops.
Hello?
Oops.
Anybody home?
Wow.
Are you kidding me? And I was driving like an hour like that before I noticed it. So, let me tell you something. It's a funny world.
Well, the good thing is nobody got hurt, and you caught it before somebody did.
Yeah, but a truck could have hit it, and could have killed everybody.
Yeah.
So, watch your P's and Q's. But I'm getting a little tired, and I don't know how your segments go, but I think that when I have a great trip, I'm not going to give up. And the message for today is never miss the perishable opportunity to help somebody else. And that's my tune today.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. The last time we talked to you, you took us out with a prayer. Why don't you take us out with another one tonight, if you would, please?
I would. That's very nice that we do this. I think we ought to make this a tradition. Also, I've got my American flag out every time I stop. Dear Lord, for what we're about to see, may the Lord make us truly thankful. Let us sit in your glory. Let us look at nature as a so simple example of your grace and your power. You have righteousness and forgiveness, which is beyond our comprehension. Please, Lord, a special blessing on my friend who's joining you today, who has joined you today. A special blessing for this blog and the people who listen to it. And Lord, let us never forget that it's better to give than to receive. And Lord, never let any of us miss an opportunity to help someone else. It shows you grace, God. It shows you respect, God, and that's the way it should be. And in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I tell you what, Tred, if you'll hang on just a minute, let us sign off, and then we'll let you go. So I tell you what, folks, that's going to do it for us this week here at the Up North Journal. We'll be back again with another special edition with Tred as soon as we can hook up with him in somewhere, probably in Canada. Y'all take care, and we'll be back again next week. And don't forget, you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on goodtalkradio.com. This episode was brought to you by PSE Archery,
ScentLock Technologies,
Scent Blocker,
Rambo Bikes,
Hunter's Blame Coffee,
Limb Walker Game Calls,
Stanislawski Releases,
Copper John Sights,
Easy Cut Outdoor Products,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Sense Hunting Sense,
X-Stand Tree Stands,
Spot Shooters,
Gut Check Indicators,
and Packermax Cultipackers.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until next week on the Up North Journal.